It's a great year to start a garden and learn how to preserve food because, we basically never really thought we'd need more than a couple days supply of food, but this is what's left in our root cellar now from last summer, and it looks like we're real glad to have it, and we've actually stocked up on some dog food and stuff too, just for all these new warnings of what the coronavirus can do to older people and people with compromised immune systems. So it's a great year to start gardening, and here I am. I had started some seeds in that last video, and I'm getting ready to transplant them. Now, I went out to find some 8-ounce styrofoam cups to try, and for some reason nobody sells styrofoam anymore, and all I could find was a little pack of these plastic ones to start out with. But you can see the kale there, and the onions and lettuce are all ready to start moving up into bigger cups. Now, I don't need the real large ones because these will be going outdoors soon. These can stand frost, and they're okay. They're good early plants to put out. So I'm just moving them to smaller cups just to weed out the strongest of each of the little pods there. Now, I did plant a couple seeds in each pod because you never know about the germination rates or anything when you're starting with new seeds and stuff. So you can see I'm just going to thin out the weaker ones and the smaller ones, and just retain the larger one at this point. And these will be going out in the garden shortly. Now, this is a blue kale that we're trying for the first time this year, and there's also a Scotch kale that we plant every year. And I just decided to try putting out some larger plants rather than just putting seeds out, because a lot of times the bugs get the seeds, and there you do have some waste. But so there's all my first kale plants getting ready. And then I'm back to that lettuce that I had started, and same thing here. I put a couple seeds in each of the little pods there because a lot of these were last year's seeds or even the year before's, and I just didn't know the germination rate. So now I'm just going to thin them down to 1 per cup, and these will be the first lettuce going out. And hopefully it won't be too long now until we do start eating our first lettuce. So same thing, I put these, I only had 12-ounce cups left, so I put them in 12-ounce cups. And then my wife, I had to mess out. She's transplanting her $5 money tree she found on clearance. And there we are. I've got the kale and the lettuce. I put them under the little grow lights, but then I decided I needed to bring the big one up. It was that time, so there I brought the bigger one up with the 3 fluorescent fixtures on it. Then we went down to Costco looking for some more 8-ounce styrofoam cups. They don't sell them either, so I wound up with these white plastic ones. They're fully recyclable. I don't know how long they'll last, but at least I can throw them into recycling, and they were cheap. And I'm just gonna take a knife here and put 3 slits around them for drainage on each one, just so that water doesn't build up in the bottom of them. And I've never used plastic before, but I'll see how they work and how long they last. So just put some slits in them, and then back to the transplanting. And right now I'm using a old bag of Miracle Grow that I had from last year. But there you can see the onions have started. They're pretty slow getting started. And not all of them did germinate. I guess they are a slow thing to start out, but I'm trying to save the best one out of each plant, out of each little pod there. And some of them I'm going to save 2 of them until I see which one is stronger in about a week or so under the light. So I'm just putting these into those 10-ounce cups, and this is the first year I've tried starting onions from seeds, so this will be fun to see what really happens. And I do see little bulbs on them. And then I ran out of last year's potting soil, and at Costco I picked up a couple bags of this Miracle Grow, and it's a new one this year. It's an organic one. You can see there's the old Miracle Grow there with the white perlite, stuff like that in it. And this one here seems to have a lot more compost and more all natural ingredients, which I actually say is made with compost and has some things for the moisture control. So looks like it's gonna be a little bit better potting soil than what I've been using. We'll see how it works. I'm just gonna start filling up this this onion tray that I emptied to get ready for the next seeds. So there they are. There's the kale, the onions, and the lettuce next, all under the grow light now. And hopefully it'll start warming up and dry out a little bit so I can get that outside. So now I decided to start some tomatoes and peppers and eggplants early. I'm a little bit early here, but it turns out I only have a limited amount of grow light space and heat mats and stuff to get things going. So I figured I'm gonna start a little bit early, and I have a lot of flowers that I want to plant next. So this is just peppers. First I'm doing the peppers here, and then I'll be doing the tomatoes and eggplants. And as I say every year, I'm cutting back some this year. I'm going to put a couple less pepper plants in because, oh my God, last year we just were buried in peppers. It was unbelievable. So I'm just going to put like 3 seeds in each of these little pods and just pick the strongest plant. And it doesn't take long to get them going. And that little plastic tray that I've got, that little burpee tray for spreading seeds, really helps a lot to hold them in and to actually be able to pour them back into packages when you're done. Then I'm just going to throw a little bit of water on each of the cells there. And then this year I'm going to try putting the heat mat down first in the these little plastic containers, and then put the top of the container on like a little greenhouse, just like that, and see how that works. I usually put a plastic bag over them, but this seemed a lot easier, and it seems to be working good so far. So now I'm going to go back and I'm starting the eggplants and the tomatoes here, and same thing, couple of seeds in each cell. And then once I get them watered and everything else, I'm going to do the same thing, put the heat mat down on the lid of the container and put the container on upside down. They actually lock right over the cord there, and hopefully they're waterproof enough to survive the moisture that builds up in there. And there's that one there, and then you can see on the other one it's starting to build up condensation inside there already from that little heat mat. So looks like it's going to work. And my replacement beds for my garden have arrived, so I'll be replacing all those wooden beds in a couple videos shortly. And here you can see this is basically what the all those plants look like today. They've really taken off, done well, and I haven't lost any of them. I just thought I'd do a quick update and show you that I still am working on getting the garden ready, and hopefully in another week or two I'll be able to get outside and really start repairing everything out there in the garden and replacing the beds. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.